when you were telling that story, an old story, something that happened, my story, but it's very funny. Many, many years ago, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 years ago, I was speaking with a therapist, and he had a suggestion of wearing a rubber band. And I think he said every time you had a bad thought, to pull the rubber band, and that action would snap you out of it. And I actually said, I think I said to him, I said, well, I'd be hurting myself with the rubber band all the time. How could I possibly, how can, like, how could I possibly do that? And that's what clearing is kind of like, especially in the beginning of recognition. It really is like that. You have to find an inquiry question or something that's the rubber band for you to constantly being attention being brought back to true nature instead of believing the train of thought that constantly arises.
When I say the phrase, I'm not getting it, or I can't get it, or I just, whatever, like that, at that moment, the one who believes that it's, well, the human aspect of this is referring to itself as an object of consciousness. I don't get it. And what has to be seen is that the only one that can speak is not the content of consciousness, but consciousness itself, in which all of this appears. That there is no, we can't really find an object in consciousness. Because that brings other than consciousness.
That brings up another point. Maybe this would be helpful. You know how it's difficult when you wanted to express that, comes out like the one that's thinking that, but there isn't a one. You're trying to think, how do you...
You're trying to get away from that, and
teach, yeah, how do I teach this? And what comes up for me is that if we could raise the question of, what is thought? What is thinking other than a collection or a series of words? And I think anybody would say, yes, thoughts are words. They're comprised of words. And the one critical thing that is always overlooked is that just take one word. Does a word have consciousness? Does a word have being? Or is it not really a subtle object? There's no consciousness or aliveness to words. And yet, the belief that the words are a someone is also a train of words.
And when we're seeing by way of pictures, when a picture arises in the mind of, like we're doing an inquiry or whatever, we're trying to figure out something, and that its thoughts are oftentimes expressed in pictures.
Yes.
And our first thought is that picture is something else. Yes. Mm-hmm. And that I am seeing that picture over there.
Yes.
But there's no word.
The words are misinterpreting the arising of the image.
Right, because the arising is, there's only one thing to arise. Yeah.
But help us out here. Make it richer. Let's hear it both take on you. That.
Yeah, I mean, it's just thoughting about thought. It's like a house of mirrors effect that creates this self-referential pattern. The cart just gets put before the horse automatically. And so that's what questions of, like, is it true that a thought could feel better later? Or is it true that,
Mhm.
you know, a thought could be at peace? Is it true that a thought could be good enough or not good enough? Is it true, like asking those kinds
Mhm.
of questions? Or even, you know, is it true that what's perceived can be perceiving? Like I love that question from Huang Po. Was a Zen guy from ages ago.
Mhm.
That, you know, getting that the mind confused so it just
Yeah.
stops trying.
But
But
that's
like,
what you just said, like thoughts can't perceive.
yeah,
Words can't perceive. They
They are.
are they're they're objects. There's no aliveness, existence, or consciousness that that's there. They are held in, if you will,
and
or arise in that.
the reflection can't see the mirror. It's the mirror that's noticing the reflection.
Mm.
It's like no matter how hard the reflection tries, it can't notice the mirror. And so this whole, you know, like the bubble of self-reflection is that just that is the mirror believing itself to be a reflection and trying to notice the mirror as the reflection, but it can't. It can only notice the mirror as the mirror because there's only the mirror.
Well, that'll certainly jumble up thinking.
Yeah.
Contemplating that one. That's a
And
mouthful.
the idea that what we are going through is that what we are reflections in a mirror, and and what we do is we discuss, do you believe in mirrors or not? And
You have
come
a
up,
beautiful YouTube video with a meditation with that, Fred. It's just wonderful. One of my favorites. I think it is what you um, are and what you are not. Oh, listen to that one, guys. Yes, beautiful meditation about the reflections and the mirror. Yeah.
because there is the potential in the impact of these statements that we're making. Each one of these statements that we're making is an opportunity to realize. The opportunity to realize is not coming later,
Yes.
probably because there's no such thing as later.
Well, somebody very wisely called the website Awakening Clarity Now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And
That's it. Yeah,
it is
awakening
only
can be
now.
later.
It
Yeah.
is only now. And through grace or miracle, the Awakening Clarity Now actually has a method, the living method for realization of this clarity now.
Yeah, the name of the website is a statement, and if you don't agree with the statement but you'd like to, then the method is
Yes,
the method
that's
is
the
there.
way. That's
Yeah,
the way.
that's right. Yeah, right. That's funny.
Yeah.